Well, I would just like to welcome everybody. My name is parksorzoosfortrees.com. And
Parks
tonight,
and zoos for trees!
thank you. And tonight I have a very special guest. He is a multi-instrumentalist, he's a vocalist, and he is the head writer for the RRA. Tonight we have James Hennis.
Alright, hello everybody. How's everybody doing?
Now, James, at some point I'm going to ask you about your choice of cigarettes, but we'll get to that later because personally I think you should be smoking American Spirits or something like that, but we'll go there later. We don't need to talk about that right now.
Sure.
So, the first thing I want to ask you about is as the head writer of the RRA, first of all, what does RRA stand for, and can you tell us something about your recent releases?
RRA stands for a hypothetical character in a novel I wrote in 2013. The hypothetical character or group or organization that was hypothesized was the Resurrection Recovery Agency. And they used sequences of sound to resurrect people from the dead. And we took the name Resurrection Recovery Agency from my novel and gave it our recording group name. And that includes myself, Juan Gonzalez Machain, Nicholas Preet, Jim Dooley, and the two chief creative consultants, John Devlin and Sean Wade.
You know what's interesting is, and you probably know about this, there are people, and I know someone that use sound frequencies on living people to make them even more healthy, like extra healthy and balanced.
Oh, I believe it. It's, sound and music is, I have my own beliefs about God and what God is and who God is and all that. And all I can say is the power of prayer is equal to the power of hypnosis and it's equal to the power of music. They're all in the same area code
Mm-hmm.
as far as the subconscious and the way human people perceive those things. And music is hypnotic, and music is mesmerizing and healing, and music is a prayer. And we're all God, and there is no God. That's all I have to say, I guess, about that. Yeah.
Okay, well, what can you tell me? And I know I'm going to pronounce this name wrong, but what can you tell me about Chi Nutz?
Chi Nutz. Okay, I was adopted in 1981 through Catholic Charities, and the parents who adopted me are saints. They're the most wonderful people ever. And my adopted father, growing up, would always tell me, "Oh, you broke the window? Well, blame it on Joey Jababa. The Glick twins, Gary and Gunther. Blame it on Jimmy Jabrew, Chi Nutz. It was Chi Nutz who did it." And he would have this gang of made up characters
Mm-hmm.
with these outrageous names that he would always have us blame our problems on and our faults on. So I wrote a song called Chi Nutz, and the very point of the song is to impress on all you poor bastards listening to it every one of those goofy names. That's the whole point of the song. So yeah.
Okay. What is melodious infection?
Melodious Infection is the latest playlist installment from the RRA on our YouTube. It's a musical album that's going to be released in the upcoming months on all the digital markets.
Mm-hmm.
But for right now, it is streaming for free on YouTube. And I just want to say again, I've been advised through our licensing deals with Songtrader. We license our music to TV and film. And we we've been advised. I've been advised by my uncle who's in show business. He's a stand-up comedian, Dan Chopin. How you doing, Unc? I've been advised to take my music down, take our music down, not
Uh-huh.
my music, our music down. And I thought about it long and hard, and I just said long and hard. I thought about it, and I'm not going to take that music down. I'm going to make it available for everybody and anybody who wants to fucking hear the music
Yeah,
for
why not?
free. And I think we'll reach more people that way with the music
Yeah.
and get our message across in a much better way, in a more effective way. And it's still, the link to the iTunes album is in every description box from every music video from Chicago Gangster Blues. So if you're a true fan and you want to have an album with the album art and all that shit, go ahead and buy it. Otherwise, steal it from YouTube. That's what I say.
Okay, I would like to know, are you telepathic, first of all?
I had experiences. I had an experience with a girl that was I was naive about what it was. And she said, "What is that?" And I said, "That's God." And she's like, "That's not God." And she jumped out of the car and ran. And that's a true story about a night I dropped acid and got intimate with a chick. And like when we were in the back seat after I was intimate with her, so to speak, intimate.
Mm.
Um, like when she crossed her legs, it was like I was crossing my legs, and when I moved my left arm, it was like she was moving her left arm, and we were. It was like carbonation in the brain,
Mhm.
fizzing at the same frequency in both of our heads.
What is it like to hook up with a chick? Because usually I drop a chick and then get intimate with the acid.
Well, the chick is real good and smooth, you see.
James, the reason why I'm asking is because you have a song been accused of using telepathy or something like that.
Yes, that's our melodious infection, and that song is kind of an expression that came from that incident I had in the back seat squabblings with the girl and our little makeout session and our little intimacy moment, and me saying, "Oh, that's God," and her saying, "No, that's not God. That's something else," and
Like
then
you were
running out of the car.
you were saying what, that your telepathy was God or something?
I That's what I insinuated at the time, which was untrue. It's not true.
Okay.
That was not God. That's not God. I described very clearly what I believe God is in the beginning of the song "Whatever"
Mm-hmm.
off of the RR music video playlist, RRA music videos. If you watch "Whatever," me being a member of the Resurrection Recovery Agency and what it represents in the novel and as a musical artistic group, uh, you know, the concept of God gets a little complicated, a
It
little
does.
more complicated. And
Uh-huh.
my simple my simple hypothesis is very simple. We are God. We all are God. We are going to become capable and already have become capable of feats that only belong to God. And we've already accomplished plenty of them. And we'll accomplish all of them. I'm an optimist. I don't believe in Armageddon. I believe we're going to outsmart the death of our sun. We're going to collect and record and resurrect the dead before we leave this planet.
That would be
I
great.
believe in all that. That's what I believe in. I'm an optimist.
James, the fans would like to know, what is Underneath Some Daisies about?
Underneath some daisies is I I had the pleasure and the privilege of performing with a fellow artist and music teacher, an opera singer named Dan Burke.
Hmm.
Daniel, if you're watching this interview, big shout out to you. You're a huge inspiration. Loved working with you, man, and wish you and your family the best. He we were in a group called the Boulevards. We performed the Beatles. We performed folk music like Irene Goodnight by the Weavers and real obscure folky bluesy music. Aside from the Beatles, of course, which is not obscure, but uh, and during that time period, he lived in an apartment on 31st and Martin Luther King, and it was on the 23rd story. And I came up with this progression that was D minor to A major 7, and it was just it. It reminded me of a drunken bar song that everyone would sing together. We all know that someday we'll die. And underneath the daisies is where we will lie. That progression turned into the song itself, and I recorded it, and all that is history. But I want to give a big props to Dan Burke for inspiring that song. Yeah,
I have.
and it's a song about death, plain and simple.
Have you ever heard the
It's
song
about death.
"Pushing Up Daisies"?
Yes, and push a little daisy and make it go up.
Yeah,
You push a little daisy and make it go. I love Ween, dude. That's Ween, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Ween. Ween is very big influence on us. So's Primus.
What about Frank Sinatra?
Frank Sinatra. I love Frank. Love old Blue Eyes. I love his Chicago, Chicago. I will show you around Chicago. That toddling town, I love it. Bet your bottom dollar you lose the blues in Chicago. I love Frank Sinatra. Who could ever deny his charisma? You know, the man's a legend.
What about Neil Sedaka?
I have no fucking idea who that is, but I'm sure they're good.
Oh, you
Wouldn't
definitely
want
know
to
who
pay.
it is. I can't think of his hit songs, but he's from like the '60s. Like
Oh yeah,
I can't remember his big hit, but you would definitely know who he was.
very
Um,
cool. Yeah,
I should just fuck it. No, I was gonna play 30 seconds of a Neil Sedaka song, but um, I did have a question.
ask us about our licensing agreements and how that's going with TV and film. Ask us.
Please tell me about that. Tell me about your licensing agreements with movies and film and.
Well, I'll tell you, we're registered with Song Trader, and we've got 2 pending submissions right now to the feature film industry and the TV industry, licensing up to $2,700 per fee.
Hmm.
Yeah, sitting on hopefully 5Gs here, people.
How does that work? How'd you get involved with that?
Well, I realized that we had a catalog that covered a lot of different genres of
Uh huh.
music and a lot of topics in the world and in everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized, and I started looking at Song Trader, and I saw their price points for emerging artists who have released an album, and that's at like 2,700 for feature film. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought $2,700. I could go for that. So I began uploading uh, bits and pieces of our catalog to Song Trader, and we have 2 pending submissions right now. One of them was a request for a crass and filthy song that mentions genitalia and sex in very vivid detail. And I thought, wow, we have a song called "We Need to Move Together, I'm Horny," and I referenced my cock quite a few times in that song. So that's perfect for this. And we submitted that. We also submitted the song Poverty